reminded earlier. ठीक है, Prakriti Purusha, Kshetram, Kshetragnam, Jnana, Gaya. Because Krishna starts offering them, it's a big analysis. He starts Kshetra and Kshetragna, this middle to first. Okay, he starts like that, and he answers. He says, I wish to know about the Prakriti, Purusha, okay, all the 6 questions. And the blessed Lord said, the body is a field, Kshetra, and the know of the field is the soul. That's how it started off. And we read all this. And then in the next shloka, Krishna uses one word, Cha, by which he says that I am also the Kshetragna in the body. Okay? In every body, Kshetra. I am also the Kshetragna in all bodies. I am also the knower. Field and the knower of the field. I am also the knower, and that is called knowledge. To understand the body and its owner is called knowledge. That is Krishna's opinion. So to take certificate from Krishna that to understand Krishna consciousness, first thing we need to do is understand difference between body and soul. That is called knowledge. If that is not there, it is not knowledge. You do BTech, MTech, MBA, MD, no use. Okay, we just continue. This was what we have already done. And then next Krishna speaks more about Kshetra, brief discussion of the Kshetra. And then what Krishna does, and he talks about that I am teaching you from the authorities, this knowledge. Okay, Brahma Sutra Padaschaiva. Okay. He's quoting even the Rishibihi, and he's quoting the Vedic literature like Chandobihi and Brahma Sutras. He said, I'm using all evidences to talk about this. Okay, then is the time that Annamaya, Pranamaya, and Jnanamaya came. Okay, different prophecies, different koshas are also called Brahma Pucham. So this explanation, I think we got a better insight when we studied Krishna book. Yes, Preeti, can you explain what is the explanation? Hare Krishna, Preeti.
Yes, Prabhu.
You remember?
Yes, Prabhu. I have the email.
Oh, you are not reading the.
I remember when the.
Try. I'll correct you.
When we, in the beginning of the life, the living entity is only concerned with eating sufficient food, and that is called Annamaya.
Yeah. So person,
and then,
let us understand this one first. Annamaya means basically if he gets food, he thinks his day is successful, correct? And that's all he has. He has nothing more. Basically animal life. Okay, next.
Pranamaya is then the next level of consciousness evolves where once no one knows that he's existing.
And he wants to protect his prana. He wants to save his life. If he is able to protect his life, this is the Prabhupada's Krishna book. If you are able to protect your life within your life, prana, if you are able to protect your prana, mere pran gaye, correct? Pran gaye to bachan na gaye, something like that. So he wants to protect his prana. That's what you see the email that says, right? He wants to protect his life. Yeah. If he considers his life successful, if he can protect himself, first level, just eat. Second level, not only eat, I have to protect my life. I have to not die. If he can protect himself, consider his life successful. If he can protect his prana, and that's the mission of his life, nothing more.
Then the Jnanamaya, where the thinking, feeling, and willing develops.
Okay. And person start developing some kind of so-called philosophy. Okay? It's also called in the Krishna book as Manomaya. It starts speculating and some philosophizing, but real knowledge has not started. Annamaya just eating and feeling satisfied. Pranamaya is where he's able to protect his life, and Manomaya is where he's able to start philosophizing. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu. And Vijnanamaya is you start developing some thoughts that you're not body or a soul. There is something beyond the body. The symptom of the life.
That is called Vijnana, Vishesha Jnana. This knowledge is not taught in big universities in America, Ivy League university. They don't teach this knowledge because it is Vishesha Jnana that only Prabhupada teaches. Vishesha Jnana. Otherwise, they only know ordinary Jnana. Annamaya, Pranamaya, and Manomaya or Jnana. Okay, next.
Anandmaya is the most blissful stage where there is a realization of one's own nature.
ठीक है. So
With
Annamaya,
Gita
Pranamaya,
Maharani.
Jnanamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, yeah, blissful, very engaged in the realization of all blissful nature. Yeah, that's okay.
So
So
Prabhu,
it is somewhat
Prabhu,
explained this purport also. Correct, correct. Ah.
so Prabhu, is it like this is like the curve of a spiritual growth of a human body, of a human being?
Normal growth of a man. You see, animal is Annamaya and Pranamaya. I think he doesn't have that. That are the only two level we can give to an animal. Just likes to eat and protect himself. Right? And securely, he likes to sleep. Then eat nicely, then securely sleep. Then again eat nicely, then securely sleep. Pranamaya means if he's successful in that, he thinks life is successful. Great. But Manomaya starts with a human being, as far as I can understand. Okay. And then more development. See, the manomaya starts, the mind awakens slowly, gradually. Tamoguna mind is fully dead, and Rajoguna start philosophizing some kind of nonsense philosophies, humanitarianism, this is that is okay. All people are in Tamoguna, Rajoguna, therefore there are varieties of philosophies. And then there is Satoguna, there are more pure knowledge. But if you come to transcendental stage beyond, that shloka is there on Gita. I took a class recently on that. What is that? Indriyani parani yahu, indriva paramamanaha, manasastu parabuddhe, yogude parasasu saha. So you can say it is a development of consciousness gradually. It looks sequential. Then Vijnanamaya, Vishesha, he understands I'm not body and soul. He comes to the spiritual platform and he engages in engagement in Krishna consciousness and Krishna Kirtan and glorifying Krishna. He becomes all blissful, Anandamaya. Does it make sense now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Take it. Chalo. So we
Thank you.
proceed. Then desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, these are the interactions. This is the five great elements. The 24 elements were given, which you know of, we have discussed so many times. But this was something new information that desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, these are the interactions we have with this world, the different elements. The chance the body will succeed. Okay. And then we were in the shloka 8 to 12, and there was different elements, and Prabhupada pointed out to acquire knowledge, we need these 20 elements, and Prabhupada says among them, the two are most important, and it's approaching a bona fide spiritual master and constant unalloyed devotion to Krishna, correct? Constant unalloyed devotion we have to reach, and definitely that cannot come without shelter of a pure devotee. These two things among 20 are most important. Prabhupada said if constant unalloyed devotion to Krishna is there, automatically other 19 elements will come. Okay, this is what we did. You see, I marked everything in color. Last time I had not done it. Because I have this in iBooks, all this. Okay, so then Prabhupada says that if this is the real process of knowledge, you see, this is the real process of knowledge. If one accepts this process, then there is a possibility in approaching the absolute of existence. Unless these 20 elements are there, all education institutes also they should understand they're not teaching knowledge because they don't teach humility. People become so proud, little they know how to bend iron. Okay, they become so proud, pridelessness, and they're not non-violent. They're so violent. Nobody teaches them tolerance, simplicity, and they never approach a bona fide spiritual master. They approach some idiot in the name of spiritual master. Correct? And cleanliness, there is no cleanliness, mental and physical cleanliness, just applying to the modern colleges. Steadiness, they are not steady, they have no self-control. They don't renounce, rather they talk only of the objects of sense gratification in schools and colleges. Correct? Okay, and absence of false ego, ahankara, the full of false ego, perception of evil of birth, they have no perception of evil of birth with old age and disease. Non-attachment to nahi, they are full of attachment. And even mindedness, even pleasant, no, they are very disturbed. Constant unalloyed devotion, usko to malum hi nahi. Resorting to solitary places, to the baat nahi. Detachment from general mass of people, they are the general mass. What detachment? Accepting the importance of self-realization. कोई हवा तक नहीं, and philosophical search for the absolute truth. They don't know what is absolute truth. So therefore, we can declare all the institutions are full of ignorance because they don't have even a single element of which is needed to acquire knowledge. So they are, why is it they are not able to acquire knowledge? Because these 20 elements they are not cultivating. Okay. So if you make a university, Vedic university, or it's called a Vedic university, you should see that we are getting trained on 20 items. Then we will get real knowledge. If you want real knowledge, this is the process of receiving real knowledge. So nice, so systematic. In accept the process, and these are all step by step. Huh? It starts with the smallest and keeps developing higher, higher, higher. Because unless you have humility, you will not approach a bona fide spiritual master. Yeah? You will reject it. These are, you can say, like Purusharya, humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity. Then only you will be able to get a shelter of a pure devotee. And then he will teach you, cleanliness, steadiness, go. And finally, by his mercy, you will get constant honor devotion. And then you will not be eager to mix with karmis and all. Detachment generally will develop. One place Prabhupada says in the purport is step by step developing from humility to uh, full understanding of absolute truth. Okay, so we studied humility, that's over. And Prabhupada said, what is the definition of humility?
Prabhu, the screen,
what is happening to screen?
The screen is not on the 8 to 12 purport.
Screen is where? I'm sharing the screen.
The book, page book, on my screen it's stuck to Annamaya, Pranmaya, Gyanmaya, Vidna.
Manoj, it is fine. In England, it is fine.
Yes, Prabhuji, in England it is fine.
We are Bangalore, it is fine.
Yes, Prabhu, here also it's fine.
What happened in America? refresh. You're, Preeti, you try to refresh that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Now the definition of humility. What is the definition of humility? One should not be so. We want to acquire 20 qualities, or we don't want? No, you want 20 qualities. You don't want. You want.
We want, sir.
Okay. Then only. Prerna, you want?
Yes, Prabhu. Looks difficult though.
It looks difficult. ठीक है चलो humility is very nice definition. Should not be anxious to have satisfaction of being honored by others. Very nice. And Prabhupada explains that the we should material conception may become eager. Okay, and it should not be there. Okay, eager to receive honor, and this is material conception. Okay. Any honor pertaining to body and is useless because we are not the body. Okay, so Prabhupada says this is very important. Let us go next. I'll just rush to till we reach where we were. And we will start pointing. The non-violence was described. Prabhupada says how much you have advanced we can judge by these items. One should have a test to see how far he is progressing. Not only I am chanting Hare Krishna, I should see whether these 20 qualities are developing in my personality. Does it make sense? Okay, so humility is, we can see how humble I am. Number 2, non-violence. So non-violence, Prabhupada, generally it seems that killing is non-violence, but actually non-violence means not to put others into distress. Okay, this is the actual definition. Okay. Yes, welcome, Keshav. So unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, he's practicing non-violence. We discussed this. Prabhupada said many times. Okay. We should make people help develop spiritually. That is where non-violence. Because anyway, soul cannot be killed. Tolerance, because this contradiction comes to Krishna is saying non-violence, and in Gita itself he orders Arjuna to kill every chapter. Kill, kill, kill. He is not contradicted because by killing these people on the battlefield in front of the Lord, they are actually, it's non-violence. It is not violence because there is no spiritual growth, is not obstructed. Rather, they are all getting moksha. Who recognize Krishna's position, they went to Vaikuntha. Otherwise, they at least got liberation from all material distress, moksha. Tolerance means one should be practiced to bear insult or dishonor for others. This is also a proper, says very nice word. One should be practiced. It requires practice. It is not easy. It requires practice. So anyway, life goes on. We should practice. Simplicity. Okay, without diplomacy, one should be straightforward. So you can disclose real truth even to an enemy. That's a Brahmana. symbol of simplicity. Except to the spiritual master, Prabhupada said essential. Without the instruction of bona fide master, we cannot progress in spiritual science. So we are fortunate to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Cleanliness. There are two kinds of cleanliness: external, internal. External is by taking bath, and internal by Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Preeti, you know where we were last time? Hare Krishna, Preeti.
Yes, Prabhu. We did non-violence.
Oh, we have to start from non-violence. Chalo then. Prerna, you ready?
Yes, Prabhu.
You are ready to read? Read the
Yes, Prabhu.
non-violence. We will go paragraph, point after point. So non-violence ka you read, then we will discuss.
Nonviolence is generally taken to mean not killing or destroying the body, but actually nonviolence means not to put others into distress. People in general are trapped by ignorance in the material concept of life, and they perpetually suffer material pains. So, unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. One should try his best to distribute real knowledge to the people so that they become enlightened and leave this material entanglement. That is non-violence.
Okay? So this is non-violence. We should disentangle people from the material systems. Try his best to distribute real knowledge, they become enlightened and leave this material entanglement. Okay, this is understood, no? This is not contradictory because Krishna asked Arjuna to kill. We discussed this. Yes, Mataji, continue. Tolerance. Any question on this, Preeti, Manoj? Keshava? Non-violence is fine? Fine?
Yes,
We
Prabhu.
continue? Yeah. Chalo.
Yes.
Tolerance. Okay, sorry. Ataji, you want to read?
No.
Tolerance means that one should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. If one is engaged in the advancement of spiritual knowledge, there will be so many insults and much dishonor from others. This is expected because material nature is so constituted. Even a boy like Prahalada, who only 5 years old was engaged in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge, was endangered when his father became antagonistic to his devotion. The father tried to kill him in so many ways, but Prahlada tolerated him. So, for making advancement in spiritual knowledge, there may be many impediments, but we should be tolerant and continue our progress with determination.
Yes. Understood? Any comments, Keshava? Everybody?
Well,
So,
it's the
purpose.
most difficult actually.
Most difficult. Manoj?
Physical tolerance maybe easier, Prabhu, but mental tolerance is dishonor and
Very difficult.
insults and dishonor.
Not easy. At least for people say, no, give me at least due honor. Not many.
Yeah, and there's always that fight between should you retaliate or should you just keep quiet and just swallow it.
You know, there is a we say we are most fallen. But when somebody says you're an idiot, no, I'm not that fallen.
Yeah, that due is very high.
The bar is very high.
Yeah.
And we keep drinking it because it's just like the commanders in army. So many people say salam, salam. They start drinking that. Similarly, in spiritual life, people say Prabhu, Prabhu, Prabhu. They start drinking it. If people don't bow down when you're, they see you feel what? But it happened. We were doing a very interesting thing. This time we were doing the parikrama, Govardhan parikrama. So one person, very black and very Rasic, but he was in a sannyasa dress, shouted at us, "Whose disciple are you?" So I said, "We are Prabhupada disciple." Prabhupada, that cannot be possible because we are so young. So I just said, "I'm Jayapataka Maharaj's disciple." Then he said, "You're a shameless man." I said, "Well, what happened?" "You people did not bow down when you saw me. Rascal, all very vulgar words started using." I was thinking, what the hell is this like? We are not looked at him actually. We didn't notice him. We are looking at Govardhan and Govardhan Parikrama and chit chatting. Here a person comes in and he says, "You didn't bow down to me, you are rascal." And actually, I think we belong to some, maybe Gaudiya Matha or some nonsense Matha. So had a very difficult consciousness, correct? What do you say?
Yeah, sure.
Prabhu,
Maybe,
like tolerance
what do
is
you
not
say? Maybe he was being merciful to us, no?
Maybe. And
But
in that instance,
huh.
where Ashwatthama was caught and Draupadi says not to kill him at the end of Mahabharata war.
Yes, yes.
That is there in the Bhagavatam also, first canto.
Correct.
And it is said his head is shaven off. So
Yeah,
insult is as good as death.
correct.
So taken rebirth. So many insults we take, so many karmas are gone. As we take insults, it is as good as another life. So
Yeah. No, but we see some
in
devotees,
that
and
sense also.
Haridas Thakur was, this is just an example, we are nowhere near. When Haridas Thakur was caned in 22 marketplaces, he says, my Lord, I deserve more. Complete tolerance on a very high platform. I'm a sinful man, I deserve more. Generally, when you're walking, you get hit something and leg is paining. My Lord, why this? Why this? But actually, we should say, my Lord, I deserve more. You're so kind. I got little hit only. I deserve more. Then you're peaceful. Similarly, somebody dishonors you, you take it in a very right way. Simple. What do you ask me?
Prabhu, when we are trying to talk about Prabhupada or the movement of ISKCON as such, people would have heard a very tarnished image of ISKCON, and they would obviously start insulting the movement. So that is the point where I don't know what to do.
Upeksha, we should ignore. What are the four kind of people? The person who is, we cannot do, somebody is offensive, we cannot do.
Prema Maitri Kripa Upeksha.
Prema Maitri Kripa Upeksha. Who knows? Preeti, you know this? Prema Maitri Kripa Upeksha?
No, Prabhu, this is not from Nectar of Instruction, is it?
This is the Madhyamadhikari definition. It is there, not a shloka. Ishvara tadineshu balesheshu disheshu cha prema maitri kripa upeksha ye karoti samadhyama. Definition of Madhyamadhikari. A preacher. Or who will do? Yeah, Prerna Mataji, you know this definition?
No, Prabhu.
Okay. Keshava, you can explain that.
There are four kinds of people we come across, and there are. It is instructed that we deal with them in four ways. What are the four kinds of people, Prabhu? Words?
Ishvara,
Ishvara, Tadadineshu,
God,
Balisheshu,
Tadadineshu,
Dvishas.
Balesheshu, and Dvishya.
Who have Dvesha. One were Ishvara Tadadineshu, Ishvara's Adhina means devotees of the Lord, and Balisha means who is little lesser or
Innocent.
childish.
Balak. Yeah.
Childish. Tadadineshu, Balisheshu, Disha, and who have Dvesha against Lord. It's not against us, it is against the Lord or the devotees of the Lord. And the four ways to deal with them is prema against towards the Lord we have to, and his pure devotees we should have love. Prema Maitri to the equals or little lesser we are supposed to have Maitri friendship, and towards the lesser childish in devotional life. For them, towards them, we are supposed to be kripa. We should show compassion, and whoever has dvesha against Lord or devotees of the Lord, pure devotees of the Lord, we are supposed to ignore them. Upeksha, just ignore them. These are the four
What
kinds
is
to
the shloka
deal with.
reference?
Ishvara Tadadineshu, that you have to search. Okay? You type that in Google. Ishvara Tadadineshu Balesheshu Dvisheshu. I think we quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Exact source, I don't know which one. Okay, this is done. Simplicity. Yes. Preeti, you want? You read. Prerna.
Simplicity means that without diplomacy, one should be so straightforward that he can disclose the real truth even to an enemy.
Yes.
As for
Wait.
acceptance of spiritual master,
Wait. Let us go one quality at a time. Simplicity means
Prabhu,
Ah.
that Ishvara Tattadineshu Balisheshu, that shloka is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 46th shloka.
11 to 46.
Yes, Prabhu.
Where you got Google?
No, shloka book.
Oh, yes. Yes. We all try to get the shloka book. It's nice. Okay, so simplicity is another quality that comes in. Without diplomacy, we should be so straightforward. You can disclose the real truth eventually. Your devotee should be very, very simple. You know, if you really love a person, when he's so honest, it's like his life is like an open book. There is nothing secret about it. It's very simple. And this is diplomacy is reverse of that. You know, he speaks something, means something, does something. Hard, very difficult to deal with the person. Correct? Somebody straightforward, it is so nice. Simplicity. Any questions, Manoj?
Prabhu, the simplicity, it says to the highest degree is that we can disclose the real truth even to the enemy. But is there any practical
No,
adaptability?
Brahmana does it. Brahmana does it, but Kshatriya can lie, Vaishya can lie, and Shudra.
When administration is in question, then we can.
Huh? Yeah.
Prabhu? When administration is in question, we can.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, Kshatriya, you ask him, where is the wealth? He will not tell the enemy, you know, he will come and attack. And Vaishya, he will not reveal how much he paid for the product already. I mean, he also is not straightforward. He will say, I'm making loss while I'm selling. And it's legal for him. So, Kshatriya then. But Brahmana is very simple and truthful. Prabhupada says many times, no? If anybody goes to him, even in his enemy, he's just closer. He just depends on the Lord. His life is open. Therefore, the Brahmana, who is a genuine Brahmana, becomes respectable because his heart is very simple. Acceptance of the spiritual master. Yes, Prenavati, continue.
As for the acceptance of the spiritual master, that is essential. Because without the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, one cannot progress in the spiritual science. One should approach the spiritual master with all humility and offer him all services, so that he will be pleased to bestow his blessings upon the disciple. Because a bona fide spiritual master is a representative of Krishna. If he bestows any blessings upon his disciple, that will make the disciple immediately advance without the disciples following the regulated principles. Or the regulated principles will be easier for the one who has served his spiritual master without reservation.
Okay, this is, I think we reached this, Preeti. We discussed this point that regulated principles will be easier, and even without following, I was telling an example of that Shyama Sundara making the Jagannath TV. Remember?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, yes. What was the instance? You can tell?
Yes, Prabhu. He said he was smoking cigarette, and Prabhupada didn't say anything. But in future, he only said that. I think that was it, Prabhu. But in future, he only said that it became easier for me to follow the regulated principles because I serve Prabhupada.
Yes. Prabhupada says no many times. You pointed that out now. In the beginning is a holy name and prasad. That's all. We can't speak anything. People can't hear the rules and regulations. But when they please the spiritual master or Krishna by serving the holy name, then they are able to follow the regulated principles. So we have to give, the Prabhupada gave first the strength, then he asks them to follow. Just like you tell somebody, do something, you have to give him the strength first, otherwise how will you do that? So you know, any company, when they give you a task, going on a marketing job, first they give you the strength, they give you all the privileges, traveling tickets, then you do the job. Okay? So they cover your expenses, then they tell you to do the job. So similarly, when we accept Krishna consciousness, it should be the same way. It's nice way, very intelligently, and not only speaking, Prabhupada did it. You know, we are talking, no, Rupa Goswami did it. Prabhupada did it. Not only speaking, but he did it. He gave the people the strength, and then he asked them to follow the regulated principle. And in the most abominable cases, the people have drugs and everything and don't know a word of Krishna consciousness. Krishna arranged actually to show his spiritual power. Today we are discussing very nicely one last shloka of the third chapter. The Prabhupada says that, by gradually developing the spiritual power. I was reading, there was the word lust there, and I was reading, getting some nice references. So very nice points came. Hey Keshava, for 9900 to batao to. You tell this people. Amazing thing it is.
Prabhu,
Yeah,
you tell
tell.
Prabhu.
No, I have been telling. I told 4 times in all my today. Just now class also I spent 10 minutes.
That is not clear in my mind. It's just a thought.
See, it's like no, you tell, no, Kesha. It's original idea. You, I'll develop.
No, I was just thinking that Prabhupada has Prabhupada is not fully what to say, not fully, his glories are not fully preached, because whenever we talk about generally about ISKCON, the life of Prabhupada starts from when he left to America and the success from there on. So I was reading sometimes, not related to ISKCON, some article where it was saying a person was trying to break a stone and he was hitting continuously the stone, and he has already hit 99 hits, and on the 100th hit another person comes and he sees that person hitting the 100th hit on the stone and it is broken. So he thinks one hit the stone is broken. So all the 99 hits that he has missed, he has completely missed it. So Prabhupada he's a pure devotee, he is Nitya Siddha. So he has done so much of groundwork uh, before before leaving to. He always had this instruction from his spiritual master, and he worked towards it. His whole life after he took sannyasa, he has worked towards it. All that is not, I don't think it's adequately uncovered to the public, or even to us. The very fact that since 1944 he went to US in 65. So from 1944 he has been single-handedly writing articles, proofreading, and printing and distributing Back to Godhead magazine. We hear, of course, Prabhupada himself has said that, it was a success. We think success of Back to Godhead magazine when it was distributed in high numbers in US. But even before that, for 20 years or 21 years, Prabhupada has single-handedly done that.
Yeah, even in the
It
war
itself,
time, he got
yes,
he
Prabhu.
got the paper. Look at the struggle.
Yeah.
Prabhu, may I add something in it?
Wait. Let
Yeah,
Kesha finish. Kesha, you
I,
finish first.
yes, Prabhu. That's all.
Hey,
Add to
read
it.
this draft paper. It was so
No,
nice to
Prabhu.
hear.
Prabhu, in September, in Prabhupada festival in Boston, all his disciples had come. So one Vishaka Devi Mataji, and I don't recollect the name of one other Mataji. They were saying that they are doing this research on Prabhupada's writings from even before the ISKCON was established. That how many times Prabhupada has actually emphasized the importance of being Krishna conscious, versus how many times he has mentioned I had a heart attack, versus how many times he has mentioned that I had so much hardships in my life. They said we are doing this project and we have found it's not complete. She said it wasn't complete at that point, but she said that maybe 4 or 5 times Prabhupada has mentioned about his heart attack on the ship. Maybe 5 or 6 times he has mentioned what all things he had to go through, and unlimited times he has mentioned what is the importance of being Krishna conscious. Um, and one more disciple, Chandramauli Swami Maharaj, he was saying he is doing a research. I think he said he's the only one. He does not know anyone else is doing this. They are going through Prabhupada literature and seeing that how many times has Prabhupada mentioned chant 16 rounds, versus how many times Prabhupada has mentioned that we should chant 24 24 hours a day. Because he said that when a acharya mentions the importance of doing something 24 hours a day, it should have a weight. That means it is important. Prabhupada said that Prabhupada has said 16 rounds many times, but he has also said unlimited number of times chant 24 hours a day. So this is a very nice point you're bringing up, but I think people here are going through his writings already and trying to tell what it is. This is like an area of research which I think I could have never thought if I had not met them. You go through and see how many times Prabhupada is mentioned from his writings forever. Before his
Mommy, why was putting my tent on my hand?
No, I was just saying there are so many aspects like so many aspects like he was living alone. I mean, in Radha Damodar temple, for
yes,
with that one-pointed attention of attaining, I mean, fulfilling his spiritual master's desire or instruction to him to go and preach in the Western world.
Yeah.
Keep
See what
up that.
happens. Yeah.
Yes, bro. No, to keep up that one-pointed attention, Vyavasayatmika buddhi, as Bhagavad Gita says, it's great.
See, the point is this: many of us actually, honestly, trying to imitate Prabhupada without the 99 hits. Prabhupada could have directly done it. He doesn't need to do this years of effort. It could have been possible. The Acharya's life is arranged in such a way that it gives us life itself is a lesson. If you want to preach Krishna consciousness, you have to be, today we will get that point, Prabhupada says, you have to be seen by Krishna first before he uses you. Correct? So to be, you want to do some blissful spreading of Krishna consciousness, Krishna has to notice you first. Correct? Because he has to empower you, he has to notice you. Prabhupada says you should be seen by Krishna. Then all the impetus for spiritual activities will start up. From within the heart, impetus will come. Do this, do this, do this. Go to America. This is like as an acharya, as an example. His life is like an example for all of us. So many of us only meditate on the last bit. I'll also take kartal, go to park and hit. Nothing will happen. Why? Because the previous 99 were not there. Therefore, we are not able to produce a result like Prabhupada has produced. Because decades and decades of sincere effort was there to be used. Same way Bhaksada Prabhupada also. He could have directly started after his guru went from this world. But 9 years he sat down in Mayapur to chant 192 rounds. So the idea is that we should not expect to be used by the Lord for blissful spreading of Krishna consciousness unless we are a fit instrument. So, we try to imitate the Acharya. Okay, imitate that seriousness, to ready to go through all the hardship. The kind of hardship Prabhupada went through. He was distributing back to Gordon magazine in Delhi, and he fainted because of the heat. Just so struggled, single-handed. In fact, there was no resource to print, and the printer says he has no money to print. He was carrying the paper for miles. So many austerities are going on, which is not at all needed for a pure devotee. But Krishna was keeping that life for us as a lesson. That if you want to be used, become an instrument in my hand. You don't take it for a joke. You should be ready for a sincere tapasya, to be noticed by Krishna, to be seen by Krishna. Then Krishna will use. And if you try to imitate the Acharya, then you fall on the nose. And that's already we have seen. They try to think that one hit they can do last. Nothing, stone doesn't break only. Nothing happens. Nobody becomes Krishna conscious. Prabhupada says you can sit on a big Vyasasana and you can speak big things, but it will not be effective if you have not done the 99 hits before. Correct? Before you speak on a Vyasasana and speak big things, then 99 hits should be going on before. So therefore, our sincere effort to become an instrument in Krishna's hand is very nice. What do you say, Swati? Oh, sorry, what is it? Prerna?
Yes, Prabhu.
It's amazing, 9900. I repeated already 4 times in my class. People appreciate the point. You got the point, Preeti? The
yes,
effort to be used by Krishna should be there. Prabhupada says the blessing of the Guru, disciple can do even more than the Guru. That is not the point. But the point is that Prabhupada did not need to do the austerities. He did those austerities for us to take an example. Krishna arranges life in such a way, watch. So like Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, what is the need to sit down and chant for 9 years, 192 rounds, and he was eating from the ground? And if you read about that austerity, it's terrible austerity. For us, if you want to be seen by Krishna, noticed by Krishna, be very serious. Is that Prabhupada says, no? Suppose you want to go back to Godhead, you should be very, very serious. You have taken a very big task. You should be serious. So this should serve as inspiration to us. Okay, so the blessings come. Manoj, it's a
Yes,
good
Prabhuji.
argument. 9900.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, very nice.
So Prabhupada was a Grihastha, you're also Grihastha. So start now. 99 you have to start on, then 100 will come. Dhada.
Yes.
Yeah, actually it happens. You know, when you speak Shabda and people feel, yes, let me surrender to Krishna, because 99 hits are happening. If not happening, you can do the 100 speak, but it will not be effective. There was one time Prabhupada wrote to a temple leader, he said, I'm not able to follow regulative principles. That was the beginning of the movement, because later Prabhupada used to tell them to step down. So Prabhupada wrote a very soft letter to him that you will not be effective if you cannot do this much. You can preach, but you will not be effective if you cannot do this much. So 99 is there, and 100th hit will be used. And I think we focus on the 100th hit and probably go around speaking big, big words. And we don't see people rushing to Krishna's lotus feet because our 99 is not arranged properly. You know, proper. That is also there. No, we don't hear from a devotee if he is not other 23 hours. If 1 hour somebody is giving big lecture, but at 23 hours he is not leading a life of Vaishnava. Don't hear. Shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochishta payorata avaishnava mukho gita bhuta harikatha. So we were just reflecting in this way, Preeti, that there was no need for Prabhupada to do austerity, but Krishna made him go through that for history, that to be an example that we should be really ready and bring ourselves out as the instrument. And at the end of Prabhupada reaches America, he knows he has done 99 hits now. He says, Krishna, use me as an instrument because I've done 99, now 100 I will do. Please bestow your mercy.
If it was so easy, all the people will say, oh, it was a fluke. So
that is also there. That is also there. Actually, the Krishna.
And also Yadyad Acharati Shrestha also. So he is setting an example. So he is handpicked by Krishna. So
yeah, no, Yattad Acharati Shrestha Sayat Pramanam Kurute. Whatever standard, the bar. They say in modern language, the bar. Yeah. He set a very high bar for a Jagat Guru. You know, many people are trying to become Jagat Guru. One hit is not done. First you do 99 hits properly. So he set a very high bar, a very high standard, so that. Okay, what did you say before this? Before this standard, you said something. People think fluid. Yeah, I met many people, and it's our fault. We don't present Prabhupada's life properly. He said that, you know, Prabhupada was selling paintings and all, he made a lot of money and he stood at the moment. And all this kind of rumors are spreading into society because they're not aware, and we have not sufficiently glorified that previous part of Prabhupada's life where he worked so hard all alone. You know, Prabhupada says sometimes those are the difficult days. But Prabhupada always said Krishna was so kind, he took care of me, but he was alone and a real struggle. So we should meditate on that, just like we meditate on Janma Mritu Jara Vyadhi. You know, this shloka it says, no, unless you meditate on these four are the difficulties of life, you will not advance. These four are difficulties. Prabhupada should discuss the problems of. Recently, I told somebody, get me a book on gerontology. I want to read the difficulties of old age, then only I'll become serious to chant. You have that? You call it gerontology? What do you call it?
Gerontology. Being old.
What is it? Gerontology?
Study of being old.
Yeah, study of being old. We should discuss this actually. We should discuss that. It's not that it is obvious because we are not becoming serious, so it helps us. So similarly, if we meditate on proper life, I wish we have a team and we make a nice, pastimes are available, they are there, but I feel it can be rewritten in a nice perspective and we can make a nice article on it, collecting all the instances and meditate on them and bring out this point, the struggle which happened before, so people can appreciate that point, how much is struggle.
The 99 hits,
yeah, and 99 hits. We can, another way, the title of the book can be 99 hits. What do you say, Preeti? I wish our group is bigger, then we can, we speak, it's not just spoken, it is done. We have a bigger group. But this aspiration.
Radha Govinda temple has a newsletter, right?
Which one? Our temple?
At least on the
We should
web.
make a newsletter. For
At
Keshava,
least on the web.
that we can start. No, we have a website, newsletter should be made. And the newsletter, these kind of things can be brought out. If we can spend time and write. And we can even send those articles to a newspaper, it gets printed. If it is well written, they'll print it. 99 hits, you write like this, they will print. If you take Prabhupada life, they will not write. 99 hits and they develop that point in a normal perspective. Then as an example, take the life of Prabhupada. So you introduce Prabhupada to the whole world. It's a beautiful thing. Keshava,
Yes, Prabhu.
why did you do it? Try.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, and that's on the Prabhupada's 50th year. Okay, that
Yeah.
is still there.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's another idea. Preeti, yes, we should do that. We will make a newsletter very soon. That should also happen. Cleanliness, who will read it? External, internal. Did you read it, Prerna Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Already over. External cleanness, taking bath, internal chant the Hare Krishna mantra. And internal follows, external follows the internal. If you have Prabhupada once came to a temple and the toilet was not clean, Prabhupada said they're not chanting 16 months. So the devotees said, Prabhupada, how do you say they're not chanting 16 months? Prabhupada became angry. You think the process is not working? If their heart is not clean, that's why the toilets are not clean. So we should see our room. Is it clean? That means I'm chanting 16 months. Okay. Continue. Manoj, you like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Steadiness. Steady.
Yeah, just read, Manoj, just read one point. Okay? You read
Yeah,
one
Prabhuji.
point.
Steadiness means that one should be very determined to make progress in spiritual life. Without such determination, one cannot make tangible progress.
Yeah, this is clear.
Yes.
Underline means the summary, what Prabhupada explains, and the yellow thing, the explanation of that, further explanation. Okay? So definition of steadiness, we should be very determined. Usa nishchaya. Determination. We should determine. Prabhupada says, why I'm not seeing, why Krishna I'm not seeing, we should be determined why I am not seeing Krishna. Should be very determined. Chalo, self-control. Who is going
And
to take that?
self-control means that one should not accept anything which is detrimental to the path of spiritual progress. One should become accustomed to this and reject anything which is against the path of spiritual progress. This is real renunciation.
Take care. Now this much is understood.
Yes.
One should not accept what anything. Prabhupada, they get accustomed. That becomes a way of living, art of living. This is real art of living. That we get accustomed. It becomes a way of life. Getting a morning. People think you're doing some big things, but gradually practicing becomes a way of living. We see a bar, we just walk. We see a cinema hall, we walk. It just becomes a way of living. We just don't get into that, and we get habituated to that kind of a life. And that is it. That is a sweetness. But in the beginning, definitely there is a struggle. Then we should get used to that
You
kind
can
of
take
life.
yourself
Prabhupada,
also. Turn off the TV.
one should become accustomed to this. Chalo. Manoj, continue. Preeti, Prerna, Manoj, any questions on Keshava? Self-control?
No.
Okay. Self-control means anything which is detrimental to spiritual progress, we should not accept. And that becomes, we become accustomed to that. And it happens gradually, step by step. Our life becomes, at that moment when your life becomes so pleasing to the Lord, we can feel Krishna is accepted. That is a surrender to the Lord. That is called surrender. No? Simply paying obeisance is good, but the surrender is when we are surrendering our mind. My mind is saying this is good for you, but Krishna says no. So we self-control means I'm controlling based on what? Based on Krishna's instruction, Shabda Pramana. And we become accustomed to lead a life which is pleasing. Probably Devata means their life is pleasing to Krishna. The life becomes pleasing. Yes, Manoj.
The senses are so strong that they are always anxious to have sense gratification. One should not cater to these demands which are not necessary. The senses should only be gratified to keep the body fit so that one can discharge his duty in advancing in spiritual life. The most important and uncontrollable sense is the tongue. If one can control the tongue, then there is every possibility of controlling the other senses. The function of the tongue is to taste and to vibrate. Therefore, by systematic regulation, the tongue should always be engaged in tasting the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna and chanting Hare Krishna. As far as the eyes are concerned, they should not be allowed to see anything but the beautiful form of Krishna that will control the eyes. Similarly, the ears should be engaged in hearing about Krishna and the nose in smelling the flowers offered to Krishna. This is the process of devotional service, and it is understood here that Bhagavad Gita is simply expounding the science of devotional service. Devotional service is the main and sole objective. Unintelligent commentators on Gita try to divert the mind of the reader to other subjects, but there is no other subject in Bhagavad Gita but devotional service.
So nice. Because most of the people, when they're reading Gita, I was once went to a place, Pajika, Madhvacharya's place. And I was reading a book there, and some writer, but he had not written, such is the power of Madhvacharya, such is the power. Never saying he was such a great devotee. His power was his devotion, that brought so many things, that brought the Lord to the Udupi, that brought, so many things that happened. So the power of devotion is more important. Prabhupada said people don't see the real perspective, correct? Just like many people, when they see the Prabhupada's huge movement, they don't see it as an offering by Prabhupada to Krishna. They don't see that. They only see organization, they see so many things. Prabhupada says, no, if you don't have proper bhava to serve Krishna, all the temples will become places of pigeons to pass stool. Empty building, correct? So this is the essence. So essence of whole Gita is the devotion to Krishna, devotion service. People somehow don't get it generally.
Prabhupada, I remember this hearing from Prabhupada. He said the Vigraha becomes Galagraha.
Yeah. You know that? What is the difference? Archa Vigraha, Galagraha? Pain on the neck, Just like Madhvacharya, when he was before leaving the world, he gave all his deities to different disciples. And the disciple, instead of feeling obliged, said, oh my God, itna bha puja karna padega. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a Govardhan Shila to Raghunath Das Goswami and Conship. You read that? Raghunath Das Goswami took that, and that Govardhan Shila was so nice because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to cry, and it was smeared with Lord Chaitanya tears. It is there in Vrindavan, that Govardhan Shila. And then we had that Conship. So he got an indication that Lord Chaitanya wants him to live in
class.
He wants him to live in Govardhan, and therefore he proceeded to Govardhan, shelter of Govardhan. So he took it so happy, he was so grateful to Lord Chaitanya. So when we get service to the Lord, deity particular is like Galagra. But when in proper attitude, it becomes Archa Vidya, it becomes the worship of deity. We feel so fortunate we get service to Krishna. Okay, devotion service main and sole objective. Unintelligent people have squeezed out so many other kind of meaning, but real meaning in Gita is devotional service. So Prabhupada anyway says don't cater, and what is the most powerful sense which you don't agree? You tell me. I have found it very interesting. I talked to so many people. They don't agree to this fact that food is the most important part of the day. And you give them a rotten food, their whole day is disturbed. So none of us feel food is very important. But just see how much it was. All of us became devotees because of prasadam only. But somehow we think, no, I'm above all this. We get good prasadam. We are so blissful that day. Whole day we are so happy. What do you say, Manoj?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Are we living in denial, or we have become so advanced that food is not at all? Anything will do. Little ruka puka, something will do.
No, Prabhuji, this is from authority, so we can't challenge that.
We can't challenge. Yeah, very nice. You go to a holy place, all you remember is the sweet we ate there. So nice. Correct?
Yeah.
Sure.
Prabhupada says sometimes, he said, Prabhupada said, ours is a prasadam movement. We're conquering people's heart by good prasadam. Therefore, cooking is most important part of our day. Yes, Preeti, who is there behind you? Your cousin?
Oh, Prabhu, oh, Lavanya, come here. Prabhu, this is Lavanya. She is one of the, she's a student in UMass Dartmouth. She's living with me nowadays.
Hare Krishna,
Oh, very
Prabhu.
nice. Hare Krishna. She has picked up Krishna consciousness?
Oh, yes, Prabhu,
I'm
she's very
trying.
nice. She's a very nice devotee.
Hello. Good, good, good.
Sorry, I did
Prabhu, I
not
just want to.
introduce before.
What do you wanted to share?
I came across one shloka which explains Madhvacharya's principles in one shloka, whatever he has given. So it starts by saying like Sriman Madhvamate Hari Parataraha. In Madhvamata, Madhva's philosophy, Hari is the supreme, and there are Pancha Vedas and all that. And finally, there also he says in that shloka, it is not written by Madhvacharya, but his his disciples, or the greatest disciples, not simple disciples, great disciples who's like Nitya Siddhas only one of those. In that he says, aim of human life is to attain moksha, and he says, and that shloka says, Amala Bhaktischa Tat Sadhanam. The means to attain is Amala Bhakti only.
Pure devotion, yes.
Amala Bhakti, without, unconditional devotional service. But what happens is when they start explaining the shloka, it goes somewhere else. They have learned so much. But basically, even Madhvacharya said, but they start saying so many things, so many things.
There's so much knowledge in Bhagavad Gita, people get attracted, but somehow it misses out. Prabhupada says that the pure devotion to Krishna is the primary teaching of Gita. So, and when you look at the acharyas, first thing you look is not their knowledge, not their other accomplishment. We look at their very intense call to the Lord. Okay? Other acharyas call, Prabhupada call to the Lord Krishna is intense, and that is the inspiration for us. When we see Prabhupada Kirtan or class, we can feel his spiritual power. We can feel intensely he's trying to portray service to Krishna. Okay? Prabhupada gives an example of small sparrow can jump from one tree to another tree, but the big eagles can fly high. That's example in Bhagavatam when Narad Muni says, Bharat Maharaj's life, don't take it ordinary. His vairagya cannot be compared. And we can just imagine his vairagya. He had a huge kingdom. Bharat Maharaj is son of Rishabhdeva. When he left the kingdom, it had a very opulent kingdom. He was quite young. He handed the throne and just walked out. So at that time, he looked at his kingdom as if Malavat, as if looking at stool when he passed out. No attraction. So it says his vairagya was phenomenally highly developed. People cannot imagine that kind of attachment. So in the same spirit, the power of the acharya, we are also chanting Hare Krishna, but we are like the squirrels, jumping from one branch to another. An acharya is flying high. His call is so intense that immediately it brings the attention of Krishna. And when the pure devotees call for Krishna, it is so intense the desire to serve Krishna. That's the difference.
Also, the very translation of the
very
translation of the word bhakti in dictionaries, I've checked. It says only devotion. Bhakti means devotion, whereas Prabhupada has translated as devotional service. Service is there. It's intrinsic part of bhakti. Unless you have service attitude, there is no showing of bhakti. Correct, Prabhu?
Yeah.
I never saw anywhere bhakti being translated as devotional service other than by Prabhupada.
Prabhupada says many times, people like my books because they are realized statements.
Yes, Prabhupada.
Realized. Sometimes I used to ask Prabhupada, when you have an interview, how do you speak exact word? Prabhupada said, all time I'm thinking only how to preach to this crazy people. So he has that thing, in his mind going on. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I heard in the morning, used to step back and forth in his room as if talking to some, invisible atheist, talking to, used to be loaded with so many things. Yes, we do one more, false ego, ahankara. Preeti, anything? Do you agree? Prasadam is most important, but we don't admit.
Oh yes, Prabhu, without doubt.
I admit.
Yeah, we think as if I'm above, now food is not important. I'm interested more, Prabhuji, in what class I'm going to get today. But actually, that changes my day altogether.
Oh no, I came because there was
Especially
nice
we have,
present.
yeah, we have so much of experience in Hare Samaj also.
Yeah.
So many people,
Oh,
even
wow, what
myself,
we try.
including, I'm saying.
We used to
Yeah.
have gobi manchuri, we have to have sweet rice, and Kesha used to keep something, even cakes inside, some ice creams inside in the fridge.
Yeah,
Keshav
Balaji
Prabhu
used
was
to like
expert
so
in
much.
Manoj used to come all the
food.
way running from Manipal for that, remember?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
Balaji used to like so much prasadam.
Balaji Keshav touched he has been telling I'm keen to join, but he's never ready at this time. Just he has given
Yes,
an
work.
ID and just one more push is needed. Once he's in, then he'll be. He is a very fantastic devotee. He's a really nice
Yes, sir.
Krishna. Chalo, one more, Manoj. Finish false ego. We are all full of
Yes,
false ego.
Prabhuji. False ego means accepting this body as oneself. When one understands that he is not his body and his spirit soul, that is real ego. Ego is there. False ego is condemned, but not real ego. In the Vedic literature, it is said, "Aham Brahmasmi," I am Brahman, I am spirit. This I am, the sense of self, also exists in liberated stage of self-realization. This sense of I am is ego, but when the sense of I am is applied to this false body, it is false ego. When the sense of self is applied to reality, that is real ego. There are some philosophers who say we should give up our ego, but we cannot give up our ego because ego means identity. We ought, of course, to give up the false identification with the body.
You understood, Prerna Mataji? Hare Krishna, Prerna. You understood? She's in and out.
He's in the mute.
I was
Not
away.
yet.
I was away.
You missed this point. False ego, ahankara, we discussed. Yeah, who understood this? Who will explain? Preeti will explain this. Did you understand? False ego, real ego?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, according to my understanding, and it may be partial or it may be nowhere, but the first statement is very powerful. False ego. We can have a debate on false ego, and we can get different inputs from people, but no one will say accepting this body as oneself is false ego.
Correct.
So,
No. It started straight, realized statement, realized statement. The devotee is living in, realizations of Krishna consciousness. You know? Very nice.
so
You ask anybody, they will say thinking you are great, you are this, but they are completely on a bodily platform. You start away proper, kicks out the bodily platform. Body is not this. Yes. Then what is this real ego? Yeah. Continue.
but Prabhupada says that there is a real ego. It's not that there is no ego, because Mayavad philosophy tries to nullify the concept of ego. But there is the reality. Like last night we were reading the banyan tree, 15th chapter, first shloka of Bhagavad Gita. The banyan tree, upside down and downside up. Like that, I think the real ego is that what is ego means I am. So right now I am in a sense of body, but the real ego exists when I am a servant of Krishna. I am a spirit soul. I'm not a body. That's the real ego. But still, to realize it, I don't know. It may take this life or many life or millions of life, but that is what the real end goal is.
Jiva Krishna Das E Vishwash Karle Tara Dukha Nai. When you accept Bhaktivinoda Thakur says no, that the soul is a servant of Krishna, there are no more any anarchas. You will be the happiest person on earth. So we have to in the beginning go by the statement of the Acharyas. We invest faith. Faith builds on faith. We accept authorities if you are fortunate, right authorities. And if you accept wrong authorities, your knowledge is wrong. So our knowledge is presently based on authority. And it is reasonable also. We have so many reasons that we are not the body. And many people take objection to Krishna also. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer. And people say Krishna is so proud. What is the answer for that?
No, because if the yes, Prabhu, actually you trained us in Arya Samaj. I can answer this from your training. So you said that okay, I am engineer, but in case so you say then people may say, are you proud, or you say, or I am saying because I have a qualification of being an engineer. So like that, Krishna is saying, I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor, I am the supreme, because um, because he has the qualification of being one, and there is no one else who can say about him than him. So he is not proud. It is he's qualified to say that.
Yes. Keshava, you want to add something?
Yes, Prabhu.
Nothing, Prabhu. Nothing.
It's perfect. Okay. Okay. We continue, Preeti? One more?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
One should try to understand the distress of accepting birth, death, old age, and disease. Yes. Who is reading? Hey, Preeti, you can ask your friend to read, no?
Lavanya.
Ha, Prabhu. There are descriptions in various Vedic literatures of birth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the world of unborn, the child's stay in the womb of the mother, its suffering, etc., are all very graphically described. It should be thoroughly understood that birth is distressful because we forget how much distress we have suffered within the womb of the mother. We do not make any solution to the preparation of birth, repetition of birth and death. Similarly, at the time of death, there are all kinds of sufferings, and they are also mentioned in the authoritative scriptures. These should be discussed. As far as disease and old age are concerned, everyone gets practical experience. No one wants to be deceased and no one wants to become old, but there is no avoiding these. Unless we have a pessimistic view of this material life, considering the distress of birth, death, and old age and disease, there is no impetus for our making advancement in spiritual life.
So, yeah, what everybody likes to add. And this time week what happened? I was in this yesterday morning. I was at Nitte, and Rekha Mataji's class is there Sunday morning. So I connected her phone, and she took class for all the boys, hostel boys. It was very nice. I was just watching and commenting. She took a very nice class. They were reading from Krishna books, and she was commenting and giving so many realizations. It was very nice. All of you can also try sometimes. Take class by phone for that. Okay, I'll connect, and they will just read one by one the chapter. And that JB also has a conference facility. Everybody can hear.
Okay.
Okay, so doctors, please tell us what are the sufferings of old age?
Prabhu, please repeat the question.
It says we should discuss, no?
The problems of old age.
Yeah, this should be discussed. Prabhupada asked us to discuss. We're supposed to discuss. We cannot go over this. Yeah, what are the problems of old age? Medically, something.
That's why having elders at home is so important.
What is that?
Starting from head to toe.
That's why
having elders at home is so important, bro. When we take care of them, we understand.
But Prabhu, starting from head to toe, in the brain, memory loss.
Okay.
The skin is very wrinkled. The eyes lose vision. The hearing power is decreased. There are no teeth. The appetite is decreased. Sensation of smell may be reduced.
Eyes
heart becomes weak.
You can't see anything, no? You can't hear.
Yes, Prabhu. So eyes are weak. Yes, Prabhu. Sometimes people are blind because of the changes in the pressure of the eye with old age. So sometimes that causes blindness beyond repair.
Mataji, all these are five senses. One second, just interrupting. All these are five senses, but the head of the sense, the sixth sense is is ever young and ever happy and mind.
Yeah, continue.
Yes, the desire is there, but the body does not
Yeah.
cooperate. Yes, Prabhu.
Isn't it?
Continue.
Mind, I don't.
What are the other problem? Purpose is you have to discuss this, so you have to tell me more
So
problems. We have to hear from
the arms are weak.
Ah.
Appetite is reduced. Even though I want to eat, the body does not accept. The heart is weak. The lungs are weak. Sometimes people have to go on oxygen machine or breathing medicines. Then the genitalia become dysfunctional. And the legs are weak. The feet are there is no pressure sensation, so there is no position sense. So people fall, and because the bones are weak, there is a fracture. Then there is a problem with the sleep. The sleep cycle is completely changed. Like a child, the child gets up every 2 hours or 3 hours to eat in the night. A baby less than 6 months old has no sleep cycle like that. People more than 60 years old, 90% of them. Actually, in America, the statistic is 1 in 2 old person beyond 60 years of age.
Can you see?
They have the sleep cycle. It is actually it is the part of growing old. The sleep rhythm is disturbed, and there is a lot of fear.
Look at that, Prabhu. His mind is ever young. He is so happy.
And no one wants to. So socially, you are outcasted. Because you're useless. You cannot earn money.
And we thought Priti Mataji is a pediatrician.
No, I've seen.
Yes. Chalo, that was a nice picture. I think it's going nice. We are fresh now. Are you feeling tired?
No.
We finished the shloka because we didn't do the shloka, and yeah, this is done. As far as Prerna Mataji took permission, she is left. We can continue. Yeah, your friend Preeti can continue. She can read.
Yes, Prabhu, but the screen is not coming. It shows your picture. Let me see.
Now it's fine. Yeah, just come.
Yes. As for detachment.
As for detachment from children, wife, and home, it is not meant that one should have no feeling for these. They are natural objects of affection, but when they are not favorable to spiritual progress, then one should not be attached to them. The best process for making the home pleasant is Krishna consciousness. If one is in full Krishna consciousness, he can make his home very happy because this process of Krishna consciousness is very easy. One need only chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Accept the remains of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Have some discussion on books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and engage oneself in deity worship. These four will make one happy. One should train the members of his family in this way. The family members can sit down morning and evening and chant together Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
You tell
If
the
one
mantra.
can
Hare Krishna mantra.
Say.
okay. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If one can mold his family life in this way to develop Krishna consciousness, following these four principles, then there is no need to change from family life to renounced life. But if it is not congenial, not favorable for spiritual advancement, then family life should be abandoned. One must sacrifice everything to realize or serve Krishna, just as Arjuna did. Arjuna did not want to kill his family members, but when he understood that these family members were
Yeah, just 1 minute. Continue. Impediments to his Krishna realization. He accepted the instruction of Krishna.
Not
He
loading.
accepted the instructions of Krishna and fought and killed them. In all cases, one should be detached from the happiness and distress of family life, because in this world one can never be fully happy. Come, it has come.
No,
For
Prabhu.
me, it has come.
Akeshava, India, it has landed up. You read.
Impediments to his.
Yeah. In
One
all
must
cases,
sacrifice everything to realize or serve Krishna, just as Arjuna did. Arjuna did not want to kill his family members, but when he understood that these family members were impediments to his Krishna realization, he accepted the instructions of Krishna and fought and killed them. In all cases, one should be detached from the happiness and distress of family life, because in this world one can never be fully happy or fully miserable. Happiness and distress are.
Keshava, you cannot be fully
Prabhu?
miserable also. Very
Oh.
interesting. Yeah. You cannot be fully miserable also. Some happiness is there. Always. If you want to look in the right way, there is something to laugh on. I
Yeah.
think Karmis have figured it out. They say that, some way you can be still always be happy. Yeah, that's very
Positive
nice.
thinking.
Yeah, they have developed on that. So continue.
Happiness and distress are concomitant factors of material life. One should learn to tolerate, as advised in Bhagavad Gita. One can never restrict the coming and going of happiness and distress, so one should be detached from the materialistic way of life and be automatically equiposed in both cases. Generally, when we get something desirable, we are happy, and when we get something undesirable, we are distressed. But if we are actually in the spiritual position, these things will not agitate us. To reach that stage, we have to practice unbreakable devotional service. Devotional service to Krishna without deviation means engaging oneself in the 9 processes of devotional service: chanting, hearing, worshipping, offering respect, etc., as described in the last verse of the 9th chapter. That process should be followed. Naturally, when one is adapted to the spiritual way of life, he will not want to mix with materialistic men. That would go against his grain. One may test himself by seeing how far he is inclined to live in a solitary place without unwanted association. Naturally, your devotee has no taste for unnecessary sporting or cinema going or enjoying some social function, because he understands that these are simply a waste of time. There are many research scholars and philosophers who study sex life or some other subject, but according to Bhagavad Gita, such research work and philosophical speculation have no value. That is more or less nonsensical. According to Bhagavad Gita, one should make research by philosophical discretion into the nature of the soul. One should make research to understand with what the self is concerned. That is recommended here.
See, this is very important. So, Preeti, where are you? Manoj, Keshava, anything you wanted to pick out from this? See, what I wanted to say was that one may test himself by seeing how far is inclined to live in a solitary place. Very important. So how much we are eager not to do Janasanga, because every moment the mind is battling, correct? To hear Gramakatha, Krishna Katha, Gramakatha, Krishna, the battle going on. Every moment you're thinking. So you can think about Krishna or you can think about something not in connection to Krishna. The battle is going every moment. Right? So it is brilliant. Okay, so Prabhupada says how much we are inclined to live in a solitary place without unwanted association, how much we are eager. Prabhupada says, no, we should feel like, if suppose we go to a place where only Gramakatha is going on, we should feel like as if we put in a cage and the cage is thrown into fire. Okay, let's see for ourselves. Test. For advanced means we become averse to Gramakatha. Just like we have the Bhagavatam famous instance when Parikshit Maharaj, they talk about, Suta Goswami takes Parikshit Maharaj about to kill the cow and a bull. So the sages of Naimisharana headed by, who is the sage headed by? Shaunaka Rishi. Correct? He says that we are not interested to hear. Is it connected to Krishna? Then only we are interested to hear. So that is the test. Okay, so we should. Development means we have asasanga tyaga, we have no interest. Okay. Prabhupada says that naturally, he has no taste for such things. Sporting, cinema, some social function. It's simply a waste of time. And Prabhupada says they talk about so many things. There's no value. Nonsensical. If you want to make research, we should make nature of the soul. Okay, what is self, what is not self. Continue, Keshav.
He also uses it to reach that stage. We have to practice unbreakable devotional service. Unbreakable. You have marked it in blue.
Yeah. There it is. Unbreakable devotion. Yeah, blue is a higher level. Underline is one, yellow is next, blue is higher. That is used to mark something which will. In fact, practice unbreakable devotion service is part of the 20 elements of the shloka. Okay? This is one of the elements. Prabhupada says is the most important element of the others. Yeah, continue, Keshav.
As far as self-realization is concerned, it is clearly stated here that Bhakti Yoga is especially practical. As soon as there is a question of devotion, one must consider the relationship between the super soul and the individual soul. The individual soul and the super soul cannot be one, at least not in the Bhakti conception, devotional conception of life. This service of devotion, individual soul to the supreme soul is eternal, nityam, as is clearly stated. So Bhakti or devotional service is eternal. One should be established in that philosophical conviction. Otherwise, it is only a waste of time, ignorance.
Okay, so if you mix up the soul and the supreme soul, this is there is no bhakti. You know? The Mayavadi, they do some bhakti. You know, they also do Krishna bhajana. There was a famous Mayavadi. He got an award also recently, Padma Vibhushan. And but if you see, they say he does Krishna bhajana also, but he says there is no God. You are God. So what nonsense bhajana it is? You know, it has no meaning. Prabhupada says you're doing bhajana, but you're saying God. You don't have form, you don't have hands, you don't have mouth, you don't have eyes. So what does it mean? You are andha, lula, langada. It's an insult. It's not a worship. So people say they also do bhajana, but then they don't have conception of the soul. Correct? So if you mix it up, there is no bhakti. Bhakti comes when there is bhokta and bhakta. Then there is bhakti. There is a worshipper and worshipable. Then bhakti starts. Yeah, continuation.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is explained. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam. Those who are actually knowers of the absolute truth know that the self is realized in three different phases as Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 2nd chapter, 11th Shloka. Bhagavan is the last word in the realization of the absolute truth. Therefore, one should reach up to that platform of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus engage in the devotional service of the Lord. That is perfection of knowledge. Beginning from practicing humility up to the point of realization of the Supreme Truth, the Absolute Personality of Godhead, this process is just like a staircase beginning from the ground floor up to the top floor. Now on this staircase, there are so many people who have reached the first floor, the second floor, or third floor, etc. But unless one reaches the top floor, which is the understanding of Krishna, he is at a lower stage of knowledge. If anyone wants to compete with God and at the same time make advancement in spiritual knowledge, he will be frustrated. It is clearly stated that without humility, understanding is harmful. To think oneself God is most puffed up. Although the living entity is always being kicked by the stringent laws of material nature, still he thinks, I am God, because of the ignorance. One should be humble and know that he is subordinate to the Supreme Lord. Due to rebellion against the Supreme Lord, one becomes subordinate to material nature. One must know and be convinced of this truth.
So nice. He's trying to the last breath. You know, don't rebel against Krishna. And this is a long purport he has written, taken so much time. And the red is like even higher than the blue. To think you are also God is most puffed up. Prabhupada says the biggest kind of lunacy person can have madness. So it's 1, 2 going from the lowest platform, from humility, going to the topmost platform. It's a staircase. We are somewhere. Prabhupada says you cannot even begin the staircase unless you accept Krishna as superior to you. Okay? You will be frustrated, and then he said, the humility, that's a humility. Okay? Without humility, the understanding will be harmful. There is no understanding. Because people, unless Prabhupada says in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, no, at least theoretically accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God, then begin. Otherwise, you cannot, the knowledge you cannot enter your system. So to acquire the knowledge, if you want to have real knowledge and you want to acquire your knowledge, we need these 20 items. Otherwise, you cannot acquire any knowledge. It is not possible. Okay? So because we rebel against the Supreme Lord, we become subordinate to the material knowledge, to material nature. And Prabhupada said we should be convinced of this. Yes, Preeti, anything you wanted to add?
No, Prabhu.
You are all exhausted now. Yeah, Manoj, you wanted to say something?
Prabhuji, no questions, but yeah, just I mean, just difficult to keep that in focus every time. All the time we keep forgetting it, Prabhuji.
Yeah. That is our 99 strokes are not done. Then 100 stroke you can do. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
Prabhuji.
it's nice. Actually, I like this point so much. Because Preeti, did you get this point? We do not focus on the struggle of Prabhupada, then we appreciate so much. Even though as an Acharya, he never talks about it, is so great. But we can appreciate that. Krishna did not have to give him any struggle. He saw his pure devotee. But just like Krishna makes Prahlad Maharaj to go through so much difficulty just to show, look, he's my devotee. He didn't give up me. Yeah? Otherwise, Prahlad Maharaj has no papa karma. Why he should go through a difficulty? It's Krishna's arrangement for us to see. Similarly, Prabhupada is also his pure devotee, so he should have all the opulences. But Krishna, arranged a situation of difficulty to show us actually that it is not going to, we should not take it lightly. That is called Sahajiya. Sahajiya means he makes it very cheap. And I think all throughout, whatever difficulties personally we have or difficulties devotees have had in the movement, it's already a 50-year-old movement. It is because we thought we can put the 50th stroke without the 99 strokes. Okay? So we should sincerely try that we. It is not a 5-minute affair to become pure devotee. It's a process of the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. It's not a one movement you become pure devotee. It's not easy to change modes. It doesn't happen in a second. I'm Tamsik, I become Sattvic. Prabhupada says, yes, in a moment it can happen, but that's not the general process. General process is gradually, Shanai, gradually person goes to the purification and it is Krishna's process. Yes? Yes, Manoj.
We'll wait for the article, Prabhu.
Which one? Wait for the 100 stroke?
We will wait for the article.
Oh, Keshava. Article not good. Actually, it's a very good idea. Preeti, see, we already have a website up. Did you see that? Once in a while, just keep clicking it. It is at number 2 1. I want to be at number 1. You type out ISKCON Bangalore. Okay? So I wanted to go to number 1. So you have to click once in a while. And I will see that sometimes we have events, we put a photographs there, so that becomes a place to go. Otherwise, we just seen, in WhatsApp, what happens as the articles go, things fly away. We can't locate where it was. Even 10 days ago, something goes away. Sometimes some people like Suman, they put up 50 articles, and there is one. There is one more Karthik, he puts up 50 items in a day itself. You lose track of yesterday's articles. So on the website, it is one thing, all the temple things should be up. And we should have, even we can have a blog kind of a thing connected, where at least it can be once in a while we can put it. Website can have a connection to a blog where we keep putting things.
But the newsletter of the temple has an effect because people want to know what is going on inside.
Correct. That will be nice. We can, you see, another thing is that in my website itself, the payment gateway is getting attached very soon. But it is within India. They are attaching a payment gateway. So people, it's true that we have so many people, well-wishers all around. So unless they know there is something going on, they immediately feel, oh, so nice, so nice. I'm not able to do. So I think it should be part of it. What do you say, Keshav?
Yes, probably.
We can start up with it, and if it develops nicely, tomorrow we can even have a hard print of it. But presently, it's easy to do soft copy. It's very easy. You have to just type, and you can convert it into a PDF. Or you can send to me. I will collect some photographs, some more articles, and together can make it. Okay, done. We can even have Preeti what you wanted. We can have a Google group of also. What do you say?
Prabhu?
Google groups you wanted, no? We make.
Oh. Yes, Prabhu.
We can discuss these things, in fact, I've been reading one very nice Google group. I've shared sometimes to people. They were amazing. I've been today also reading. Amazing. Just mostly we hear in America how Prabhupada is received. This is in Europe, and they have done a collection. I don't know where they got it. Huge present, so nice. You read that Prince Prabhu? Uh, he he was in the temple. They told him to chant, and he said, "I have done it one round. We have to chant 16 languages." Oh my God! He had just moved in first.
Yes, Prabhu.
And then more of how they saw,
Yes.
what are the experience when they saw Prabhupada? They have all, how they endeavor to see. It's very nice. So let us have a Google group also. We can.
Prabhu, one more thing is if we can have a review on your temple website that we can, like your students or we sitting over here can write a review of our association with the devotees inside the temple.
Yeah, that is there on the website. You can always do that. I think that will be
There is
there
a place
already.
to write.
I think I should do that. I'm there in the place now presently. But there is in the Google Maps, if you locate our place, Radha Govinda Temple, Mangalore, there the review place will be there. If you write that, then it adds up to the reviews. And in the my Facebook page also, oh, I have to do something there. Facebook page also is very big, and I did not answer so many people. Then they are not allowing people to message to me. Okay, chalo. Okay, we close here now.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
We'll have some
Thank you,
kirtan
Prabhu.
from. You want to have some
Yes,
kirtan
Prabhu.
from Keshav?
Yes, Prabhu.
नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमः
कृष्ण
Krishna.
श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी
Saraswati Devi.
गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Bhaja Shri
Krishna Chaitanya
प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare.
Shri Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Keshava.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Manoj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Keshav
Thank
Prabhu.
you.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Preeti. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Your mother did not join today.
Yes, Prabhu, I don't know. I'll call her.
Okay, no problem. Next week.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Nowadays, Supriya Mataji and other Mataji, they don't join.
They who?
Timing doesn't suit them.
I do not know. They are almost out. Okay, doesn't matter. Bala wanted to come in. We'll get Bala in. And a few more people, but they are new. They wanted to be in.
Himali Mataji also nowadays not.
She did not come. I invited her today. Okay, this is part of it. Things will be big in the beginning, and then later it again is.
Vijay Mataji is in Mangalore only.
Yeah. My hostel boys also wanted to join in, but they have exams on the week, so I didn't.
Manoj Prabhu, in Bhakti Vedanta Manor, there is a big festival from 22nd to 25th of March.
Okay, Mataji.
If you can go, try to go. I get email. I'm in the group of devotees. They once visited Boston, so I'm in the group. So I get the emails. And there is one Kalanka Mataji. I think she's 80 years old and she's very famous for making sandesh. So it's the whole menu. I'll forward you the email. They have the whole menu and the whole program. It looks so energetic. So I'll forward you, Prabhu. If you can go, please go.
Yeah, Mataji. Okay.
22nd to 25th.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.